Well, here and I'm here with John Formica, my good friend and colleague. John, how are you?
I am doing fantastic, JD.
Terrific. I want to talk about repetitive trade. Do you want to talk about repetitive trade?
Absolutely. I think it's a great topic. I'm glad you brought that up.
That is said so naturally, wasn't it? It's almost like you were reading an autocue. That is a great topic. I'm glad you brought that. John, can you say repetitive twice?
Repetitive twice.
No. Repetitive. You didn't fall for it, damn it. Okay, repetitive trade. It's really, really important because the thing is that you don't want a customer, because a customer is just once, okay? You want a client, an ongoing client. And so therefore, the only way to do that is to actually collect their name and contact details immediately. Because then, once you've got that, you can remarket to them. Now, I know in the online world we talk about remarketing as a Facebook, Instagram style procedure, whereby you've cookied someone when they've come to your web page, and then you chase them around. I'm sure that you've seen when you've looked for something on the internet. It might be a new car. Before you know it, every time you go onto Google, a new car, ad will pop up because they've cookied you and they've chased you around for remarketing. So there's that form of remarketing, but there is just a normal, regular form of remarketing by following people up with an SMS message, a text message, or an email campaign, or snail mail campaign, or even a phone call. And John, in terms of Disney, and we're talking about someone who has been, 10 years with probably the best marketer in the world, the Walt Disney Company. They are just experts at remarketing, aren't they?
That's right. Yeah, again, understanding who your audience is, but more importantly, who your market is, and how do you just keep using them, how do you get the information. And once you have that information, there's so much, there are many different things you can do. You can wow them because you know when their birthday is, so you can send them something on their birthday. You know what they like and eat and all those sort of things. So what their shopping habits are. All of those things are important once you kind of get that data.
Well, let's tell everyone what you've got on your wrist here, because that's how Disney now collects data in their theme parks, isn't it?
Yeah. See, years ago, Disney, if you walked around the hotels and resorts, you'd probably see someone with a clipboard and asking you questions, and that's how they captured data. How often do you come? Where are you from? How many kids do you have? What's your income? They'll just ask all kinds of questions to get that information. Well, now that's okay, and they still find ways of doing it, but really what they do is try to collect the data that is useful, things that I can do something with it. And if you haven't been in Disney in a long time and you stay at a Disney resort hotel, this is one of the advantages of being at a Disney property versus staying outside of Disney, is you get a wristband that allows you to use this for everything that you possibly could need at Disney. In other words, it will help you get in. You'll use this to get into your room, so you no longer need a room key. You can charge to your room by just using this. It's got these electronic things that allow you to just charge to your room. Your Fast Pass is on here. In other words, so now when I want to get on the ride, my park tickets are all on here. My reservations to my restaurants are all in here. I can go anywhere in Disney World Resort, in the Magic Kingdom, in Epcot, and I can charge to my room just by going back on here. So it's a great way of using this as a great service. It's a great experience. Love doing it. But there's also another reason why Disney does it, JD, and that is Disney collects data from every time you use this. So every time you go on a ride, every time you go in and out of your room, in other words, what time do you go into your room versus what time do you leave your room? So they know that they can use that as a strategy. Wow. Where you ate dinner, what you ate for dinner. See, because now you just paid the bill, so it tells you everything that was eaten. So now they have a capture of the most popular foods that are people eating. So it's a great way of getting this information electronically using digital technology, but to capture that information, because now Disney's going to use it to help market their business.
And what John's talking about is what we call behavioral marketing. And if you have a CRM program, it may be Infusionsoft, it might be ClickFunnels, or any of those sorts of things, it will allow you to execute behavioral marketing. You may send out an offer to people, whether it be the sorts of people John's talking about that entered the Disney Resort, or it may well be your database. And based on their response, yes, no, maybe, yes, I'll think about it in 2 weeks, whatever it may be, you can create an email funnel that goes out and talks to them over the next 4 or 5 weeks based on their behavior. And so if they said, yes, look, I'm interested in this product, I want to say more details, well, you know that they're reasonably warm prospects, so they'll get this set of 4 or 5 emails over the next month. If they say, oh, look, I'm only mildly interested, I'm not sure whether I want to do even talk about that for the current period, I might think about it in some months down the time, because that's the box that they tick. They'll get this particular email funnel and so on. And it's called behavioral marketing, message to market match. And being able to capture all of that behavior with this device here on their wrist allows Disney to market to those people in a segmented fashion. Because if, for example, they tended to eat breakfast all the time at the buffet, then of course Disney knows that if they come back to Disney World again, they're more likely going to be buffet fans. They'll probably give them a special deal.
That's right.
Special offer.
Or let them remind them about that the characters are going to be there, or remind them to make their reservations early because it's tough to get in. So again, they want you to come there, because if you had to make a phone call to get in and you can't because the reservations are booked, you're frustrated, you're leaving. They want to make sure that you plan ahead, tell you the busy times, quieter times to make reservations. They're trying to help you with your experience, but they can do that because they have that information.
And repetitive trade is based on, firstly, collecting the data. Without this data collection facility, then of course Disney couldn't do that. And you are not Disney, I understand that. But as a small to medium-sized business, you can collect data. You can collect it on your website by having something for free in one of the panels on your homepage. And it might be a free report, it might be a free video download, it might be a free 15-minute consult. The fact is that they need to give you their name, their email, and their cell number in order to get that freebie. And of course, once you've got that, then you can start the sales process, okay? I'll give you an example. We have a client that did some business with me a few years ago, John, and I'm not sure whether I've told you this one. And if I have, as I'm telling the story, try and pretend to be interested as well, even though you may have heard it 4 times. This happens to be a restaurant in Melbourne, Australia, and it's called the Lobster Cave. And it's an upmarket seafood restaurant in a very upmarket, zip code. So there's Mercedes and BMW sitting outside this restaurant, and their entrees would start at $51. So it's quite an expensive restaurant. The average for a couple eating meals in there is $204. Okay, for $204 for an evening meal. He is the only restaurant in the world who is 100% full every night of the year. So he's not open Christmas night, but he's open 364 nights, and he is the only restaurant in the world who's full. Every single one of his 180 seats is full every single night. And would you like me to tell you how he does that? Well, you can't answer, but John, would you like?
Yeah, I'd love to know. How does it? Every 364 days a year?
Full, 100%.
I don't want to know how.
I'm not going to tell you. Okay. I will tell you. What we've done is that he was spending $500,000 on radio and newspaper promotion, and it was getting nowhere. I said to him, well, I'm going to save you $500,000 straight away. He said, okay, smart Alec, how are you going to do that? I said, we're going to give your waitresses and waiters an incentive, and that'll be 50 cents for every contact detail that they get. So at the end of a meal, if John and myself and 3 or 4 others were on the table, it didn't matter who was paying the check, she would put a little entry form about the size of a baseball card, and it would say, win dinner for 10 of your friends at the end of this month. Just give us your name, your email, and your cell number. That's all it was. It was not a $1 million giveaway. It was just win dinner for 10 of your friends. Guess what? Around about 90% of people fill that in. And so therefore, when they filled that in, he being Bill Ferg, he's become a very good friend for obvious reasons. We certainly, helped him improve his business. He basically now is up to 90-odd thousand on his database. This is a restaurant, by the way, not a shopping mall. And so this was a few years ago, but he collected a few thousand of these very quickly. And then what happens is that every afternoon at about 2:30, and I've been there to watch him do this, if this was the restaurant ground floor, for argument's sake, with 180 seats, his office is upstairs. And I was with him on one day, and he said, JD, let me show you how your text, which I designed it, this text message thing works. I said, okay, yeah, show me. And he yells out to his long-suffering PA, Cheryl, come on here, And he's a bit of a larrikin. This guy is very much like a Steve Irwin, Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee character. He's a bit of a larrikin. So she comes in with a tablet, and he says, tell JD how many seats we have booked for our restaurant tonight. And she goes, we've got 72 seats of 180 that are booked. He said, well, you better send out one of JD's text messages, which I've put together a dozen text messages. And he said, let's go with number 4. What's number 4? And she reads out to him, oh, hi, blum, blum, blum. Chef Pierre has a special deal tonight on lobster tail meal for 2 for just $68. And he says, right, send that out. Now, when people come in for the $68 deal, they end up spending $204. A bottle of water is $30, right? And so therefore, out goes the text message, not an email. Text message. Remember, 94% open rate within 3 minutes. An email could sit there for days, all right? So she sends out that text message which says, Chef Pierre would like to invite you for a special offer tonight. You better hurry. It's only available in the next 15 minutes. It's a lobster tail meal for two for $68. She walks back 10 minutes later, says we're booked out.
Wow.
He does that every afternoon, and he's the only restaurant in the world that does it, and he's the only restaurant in the world that's full 364 nights a year. And I shake my head. I do these presentations in front of all sorts of people in the hospitality game over and over and over and over again. And unless they join my program where I can give them a gentle nudge, guess what? It's the easiest thing in the world to steal. None of them do it. I do not know why. It is the easiest thing in the world. So what they do is collect the data and stimulate repetitive trade by just simply texting everyone. And with repetitive trade, of course, comes the phrase loyalty or reward systems. And so the best way to stimulate repetitive trade, if you don't go down that path that I just talked about with text messaging, is to create a loyalty program. And that might be, for example, a hair salon. And again, John, I think I've told you this one, but try and look like this is the first time you've heard it. So you do things like, oh, wow.
Awesome.
Even like that, you just go, oh, that's interesting. So therefore, the thing would be is that this hair salon, fictitious hair salon, and if they put a sign outside their hair salon that said 10% off, do you think in the world of Groupon, which is 50% off, that anyone will walk into the hair salon? No, 10% off is no big deal. But I would say to them, okay, well, if I could increase your business by 100%, 200%, but it would only still cost you 10%, would you be happy with that? Would you do it? Yeah, of course. And I always ask every business owner who's around me, would you be willing to give up 10% of your sale price if I could double your business? And of course the answer is yes. So if that hair salon said, for every $50 you spend with me, I will give you a movie point, a cinema movie point. And then when you save 10 movie points, which means you spent 10 times $50, I'll give you a $50 ticket for two to go to the movies, because you can buy those little gift cards at Walmart for $50, right? And guess what? That means they've spent $500 to get 50. What's $50 as a percentage? 10%. And yet you've got them into a repetitive trade pattern, because the point is that if Mrs. Smith, who spends probably $100 on her hair every time she goes there, if she's got 6 points of the 10 that she needs, it doesn't matter what other hair salon puts an offer online in front of her, she ain't going to swap. She's going to be repetitively spending with your hair salon, because she only needs 4 more movie points to get 2 tickets for free to the movies.
That's right. Absolutely.
And Disney have a number of membership clubs, of course. I think I'm a member of one of them. And they are experts at providing value-add bonuses for you being part of their club. So think about setting up a loyalty club. You know that a lot of the coffee shops have that little card where if you get 9 stamps, you get the 10th coffee for free. Does Starbucks do that?
Starbucks does it. And again, if I travel so much, but if I'm in an airport and I'm looking for a Starbucks, I like their coffee, I like their product, but I'm accumulating points and I'm getting free coffees all the time, or they give me a free coffee on my birthday. It's all things loyalty. Panera Bread, I'll have a special for all members. You get a free bagel every day of the month. It's, does that mean I go 31 days and get a bagel? No, but I'll go and get a bagel once in a while. Well, that's because I racked up enough points, loyalty points, to achieve that. And now it creates that stickiness. I want to keep doing it. I'm going to tell my friends when they say, why do you go there? I go there because I get something free, because I built up, and they'll want to be a part of that program as well.
Now, my advice to you, if you're sitting there going, well, loyalty program, reward program, that's something I can do for my business. Don't make the reward a price discount, okay? Now, you can, but my advice would be don't. There is a sushi franchise business in Australia, and what they do is they provide you points when you whatever it is, a point for every $10. And when you save up enough points, they give you a 10% discount. My view is that will never work anywhere near as well as if you walked away with a little teddy bear, or you walked away with movie tickets, or you walked away with a gas discount at the local gas station. So my view is that it is always best to consider providing a value add bonus rather than a price discount when they reach this level of points that they need to. And I must say that if you were to ask me, well, what do I believe would be the best giveaways? I've tried everything. Being in the game that I've been in, we've given away, plasmas, lawnmowers, lounge suites, you name it. And there are 2 or 3 things that have universal appeal to both sexes and all ages. One of those is vacations. So therefore, a night away at a lovely hotel, or a holiday in Hawaii, that will always be universally appealing to men and women of all ages. The other thing that we've found works for everyone is a fuel discount or gas discount, because it doesn't matter what age you are, okie dokie. And the other thing is movie passes. I mean, it doesn't matter what age you are, you like to, go with your wife or your husband or your boyfriend, girlfriend to the movies. And they are, in my mind, really, really sensible things to consider because they're universally appealing to both sexes.
That's right. And you know you're going to watch movies and you're going to go. Now you can go for free.
Exactly. Now, keep in mind, you can have other rewards because we know we can walk into Walmart these days and buy any number of those gift cards, and they're already in a little gift, sort of compartment that you can take. So, Netflix cards, there are Walmart cards. There's all sorts of different gift cards that you can buy. There's restaurant gift cards and all those sorts of things. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they aren't possible. It's just that I've found over time that the fuel discounts, the vacations. Okay. Look, one other thing that is very appealing, and it just depends on what the state laws are wherever you are, for people who are over the legal age limit, alcohol. And I'm not saying that as a joke. I mean, it's just the point is that if you say to someone, look, if you save up the number of points, you will get a beautiful 2 sets of, Sauvignon Blanc wine, then that certainly can be a very attractive bonus as well. But obviously you have to check with your state laws with regards to that. Well, thank you, John, and it's been a real pleasure talking to you about this repetitive trade thing. And if I can just say to everyone again, the only way that you can stimulate repetitive trade is to collect data. Okay, so the first port of call, online or offline, is to make sure that you collect the name, the email, and the cell number of your customers so that you can then remarket to them.
That's right. The money is in the data.
You got it. Money's in the list, money's in the data. Thank you for listening to this, and look forward to seeing you soon. All the best.